5 things that you can do to keep your shoes looking better and lasting longer, from your dress shoes to your casual leather boots. Let's get right into it. So whether you're taking care of your nice dress shoes like these Allen Edmonds Strands, or maybe your beater shoes, your all-weather walking shoes like these Cole Haan Original Grands, are going to want to use shoe trees. Why? What do shoe trees do? I actually have a pair in right now. Now if I take them out, you could actually see that I can now collapse the top of the shoe. Right? You think not a big deal, but after walking constantly, the shoe is doing this all day. If you cross your legs underneath your desk, you're like this. If you're standing there with your legs crossed, your shoe is doing this. So your shoe is actually going to be sitting on the shelf drying. Those wrinkles right here, those folds are going to be more pronounced. It's going to start to curl up, especially leather-soled shoes like this. So the shoes are just going to age a lot faster, and you're going to get a lot more folds and wrinkles in the leather. Shoe trees help keep the shoe's original shape, especially for a dressy shoe like this. You're going to want to put them in every time. As soon as you get home, don't take your shoes off unless you put your shoe trees in. Now look at that. Nice and rigid. I can't collapse it. So if the shoe has been curling like that, you've been walking, let's say you walk 10 miles in your nice shoes, that's something I would do, I know I've done it before, then you definitely aren't going to want to take your shoes off without putting shoe trees in right away. Shoe trees are pretty inexpensive. You can get a pair for about $30 or $45 depending on which brand or what pair you get. I would also go with the cedar shoe trees, the wood shoe trees, because that sucks out the moisture from the shoes. When you've been walking all day, you may not realize it, but your feet actually sweat, and that leather, whether it's really any shoe, even if it's a canvas sneaker like a Vans Old School or a Vans Authentic, it is going to be absorbing the moisture. The moisture is going to be absorbed into the shoe, and that cedar shoe tree, the cedar shoe tree is going to suck out that moisture, and it's going to not age that leather prematurely, and it's going to keep that leather from cracking. Leather does not like moisture. It can withstand moisture. A lot of my leather boots I wear in the rain and they're totally fine, but you don't want to abuse them. You don't want to damage them. Shoe trees, wooden cedar shoe trees, helps leather dry a lot faster and get back to its natural state. And that goes for your casual leather shoes as well. These shoes, I got them for about $100 a little while ago, probably almost a year ago. And you could actually see, I've worn these shoes quite a bit. I've walked forever. The Cole Haan Original Grand is like my go-to casual shoe if I don't want to wear a pair of sneakers, but I also know I'm going to be walking around a lot. I'm going to be on my feet a lot. This is the shoe that I trust. This is pretty much right on par with my Adidas Ultra Boost, which is really the ultimate shoe for walking around standing and just having good support underneath your feet. So this Cole Haan shoe retails for about $200. The Allen Edmonds Strand retails for about $400. Of course, you can get them both on sale. However, this shoe is twice the price of this shoe, but there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to make this shoe look good and last just as long, or at least until you finally wear away all the rubber on the bottom. So you can see this shoe, I've walked in this shoe, I put this shoe through its paces, it's been soaked, it's gotten all muddy before, I have not been kind to it, but look at the shape of it. Even if I take that shoe tree out, check it out. Look at it. Those wrinkles aren't even that bad. For a sub $200 shoe, I think this is like $170, $180, something like that. Check that out. Cedar shoe trees. They're worth the investment. Now I mentioned what shoe trees, cedar shoe trees do is they suck that moisture out of the shoe. So if you've been wearing your leather shoes all day, that shoe is going to have a lot of moisture on the inside of it. Now cedar shoe trees are going to help, but what you really should do, the second thing you should do is you should actually rotate your shoes. So on Monday wear the Strand, on Tuesday I'd wear this one. I would flip back and forth, back and forth. They're almost the same. This one's a bit lighter. I do like the McAllister a little bit more, but rotating your shoes will allow your nice shoe to actually sit for 24 hours and dry and regain its shape. Now this does not mean you need to go out there and buy 2, 3, 4 pairs of nice expensive dress shoes. It also can mean that let's say Monday through Friday you wear your Allen Edmonds McAllister or Strand. But then let's say one evening after work you're meeting some friends or colleagues and you want to stop home and change. That's where you should change into maybe a cheaper shoe to give this one a rest. Because if you wear a shoe like this 5 days in a row, 24 hours a day, it's definitely going to start prematurely aging that leather and the structure of the shoe. Whereas if you had just worked a cheaper shoe like this one, and now they're actually pretty similar in look, then you would be surprised at how well that would be for both the expensive shoe and the more affordable option. So I used to never wear the same pair of shoes 2 days in a row. Anywhere I went, I would carry 2, 3 different shoes. I'll be honest, I've done some weekend trips. I just bring this shoe and I wear it 2, 3 days in a row. Doing this 2 or 3 days in a row is not really a big deal in my opinion. However, if you're home, you definitely want to just not rely on one pair of shoes for every single thing from morning, noon, and night, Saturdays, Sundays, everything. Because not only are your shoes going to be wearing out super fast, it's also going to make it look pretty rough on the uppers, the leather uppers, if you are wearing leather shoes and you want to keep them looking nice. So rotating your leather shoes does allow them to actually sit, take a break, recuperate. It makes the structure go back to what it was originally, and it's going to help the leather dry out properly, which in the long run is going to prevent it from prematurely wearing. Now, speaking of prematurely wearing, the next thing you're going to want to do to your nice shoes is you're going to want to condition and polish them. Now, conditioning and polishing them is actually two different things. We have the leather conditioner, which actually breathes that moisture back into the leather shoe, and we also have that polish. So the conditioner will actually keep leather from cracking and keep it in a good condition and keep it lasting longer. But what that polish can do, I actually need to do it for this shoe, is you see right there, I have a little bit of a scuff mark because I actually wear these shoes. I don't really baby them like crazy. Then that polish, because this is also the Chili polish, the Allen Edmonds Chili polish, I can actually rub it right there, right in the front of the shoe, and it can actually almost hide that scuff right there. So condition the shoes to keep them from prematurely aging or cracking and keeping the leather fresh. Polish the shoes to take those scuffs out, especially if it's a nicer leather dress shoe. Now, if you do polish something like this, the Allen Edmonds Strand in Walnut, it is going to get darker and darker over time. So I have the polish in Chili. I also have another polish in Walnut for these particular shoes, but you could also get a neutral polish as well if you really want to retain that color of that nice walnut and you don't want it to darken that much. I particularly like when the walnut color starts to darken. I think it looks really good, so it doesn't bother me that much. But once I get to a point where I'm happy with these, I will be going to that neutral polish. Now, some other things you're going to need as well when you're conditioning and polishing your shoes is you're going to need some horsehair brushes and you're going to need some flannel applicator pads. These are from Allen Edmonds as well. It's a good idea to keep different shoe polishes or different colors separate from others. So for example, I have one horsehair brush right here, that's Chili Burgundy. You can see it's got Chili Burgundy. But I've got another one right there that is a little bit lighter in color. Can you guess which color this is for? This is for my walnut pair. So one thing that I don't do, I don't take this dark chili horsehair brush and polish it on my walnut strands right here, because that is going to darken it a lot more and I might not like it. And I actually do the same thing for the flannel cloths as well. It just helps retain that original color that I really do like on the dark chilies and the walnuts as well. The next thing is choose the right shoe for what you're actually doing. If you want to wear dress shoes, if you're going to work, you're dressing up in a suit, absolutely, dress shoes. But maybe you're walking around a lot and you're going to be on your feet a lot, but you don't want to wear a pair of sneakers. Casual shoes, like the Cole Haans. Even if it's raining, the casual, cheaper Cole Haans are going to be a better bet than the nicer dress shoes. Yes, these can withstand the elements pretty well, especially if you put shoe trees in, let them dry, condition them, polish them like we're talking about in this video, but this is going to be a much better option if you're not sure of the elements and if you're dressing more casually, especially with jeans, maybe a flannel or jeans and an Oxford shirt. And now you can also invest in a pair of boots like this, the Allen Edmonds Waterproof Higgins Mill. This way you can actually wear a nice pair of boots in the fall and winter months if it's harsh elements outside, but you don't want to just revert to wearing your Echoes or your big bulky rain boots. These are a great option. I've got my Thursday Captain Storm Kings as well. Those are good as well. They're also a more cheaper option. So choosing the right pair of shoes for what you're actually doing is a good way to make sure that you're not going to use the wrong tool for the job and prematurely wear out your shoes. So for an example, holiday parties, the weather's really bad, it's snowing or raining a lot. Which one do you think is going to be a better option? The weatherproof day-night sole boot that's going to keep you warmer, or that leather-soled, light color Allen Edmonds dress shoe? Absolutely, this shoe every time. It's going to be able to withstand the elements a lot better. If you were to opt for the leather-soled dress shoe and just wore this bare just as it is, not going to be a good day for this shoe. And speaking of walking in nice shoes in inclement weather, the fourth thing that you should do is you can take your leather-soled shoe and get some sort of a rubber sole protector on it like I have right now. a shoe cobbler or a shoe repair person can actually do this, but I find that it's pretty easy just to go ahead and do it yourself. This is just a cheap one that I found on Amazon. I've had pretty good success with it so far. And I even went ahead and did it to my trusty Dalton boots. I find that these boots were very comfortable, but I wasn't wearing them in the fall or winter a lot because if it rained, I would shred that leather sole. Now that I've got the rubber sole protector on there, it actually gives me peace of mind that I'm going to get traction. And also if the ground's wet after it's been raining, or maybe if it's been snowing and the snowing's actually starting to melt as well, this is a great option. That way you can actually wear a nicer shoe or boot like this one if the ground's wet and it's a little bit of a drizzle or a little bit of a snowstorm coming on. And now the fifth thing you could actually do for wearing your nicer shoes, making sure that they don't get prematurely aged by the elements, is invest in a pair of overshoes like this. This particular version is from Swims. So what you do is you take your dress shoe, you go ahead and just stuff it in there. Bit of a tight fit, and now there you go. Now you're covered. You're not going to be shredding away your nice leather dress shoe, or your nice leather sole rather, because you're totally covered. The nice thing about overshoes like these Swims is you could actually use them on multiple different pairs of shoes. So if you got a dress shoe collection, not just two, I just have 2 dress shoes and that's it. You got 4 or 5 dress shoes, you could actually take them and put them on different shoes, and they do come in this nice little carrying case. That way if they're all wet and sloppy, you don't have to put them in your nice bag and then get rain water all over inside your nice bag. So that's it. 5 tips to help you from prematurely aging your leather dress shoes or casual shoes and keep them looking better while lasting longer. You're going to spend less money on your shoes overall, and they're also going to be looking much better and much newer than if you weren't to use shoe trees, if you didn't let them dry out, if you didn't condition or polish them, if you didn't add any additional protectors to your leather soles, or use overshoes. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every single one of you, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great one. Bye.